I'm Kyung-Yoon. There's a saying that the best book that you can write is the book that only you can write. For author Rosa Kwon Easton, she says that's what motivated her to write her debut novel based on the life story of her grandmother. These were the faded documents Rosa Kwon Easton discovered stashed away in her parents' Los Angeles home in the early 1980s.
They were my grandmother's nursing and midwife certificates. They were written in Japanese, but had her Korean surname on it.
Rosa's grandmother had been born in 1916 in Japan-occupied Korea. When she was 13 years old, she left for Japan in the hope of getting an education, spending her youth navigating an unwelcoming society and passing as Japanese.
She was a nurse, and this was the 1930s, and she was living in Japan. How did she survive? She had a child, and that was my father. I knew she was a single mother because my grandfather passed away when he was only 22 years old.
Rosa's curiosity about her grandmother got buried as her own life kept moving, with law school, a demanding career, and raising a family. Even so, the questions lingered, and in 2008, she began recording her conversations with her grandmother in her small senior apartment in LA's Koreatown.
I kept them thinking that I'm going to do something with this someday. And it turned out that it was after she passed away in 2012. I started assembling her notes from the interviews, my own research, the discussions with my father.
The materials became the basis for White Mulberry, an historical novel based on Rosa's grandmother's journey from North Korea to Japan, back to Korea, and eventually to America. Her resilience became the model for Mi-young, the character at the heart of Rosa's debut novel.
Counting birds on her 2-hour walk to father's house, Mi-young tried to forget about Bobe leaving home soon. She wiped the sweat from her brow with her chogori sleeve and squatted against the beige stone wall outside father's front door. Scents of sugar and sesame drifted from her bag.
The author chose to tell her grandmother's story as historical fiction because it allowed her to explore deeper emotional truths, drawing not only from her grandmother's life, but also from her own experience of immigrating to America at age 7. There are so many levels to this novel, but at the heart of it, it's an immigrant story.
Yes, that's the story it needed to be able to relate to it on a personal level in order to be able to stay true to the character. So a lot of what she experiences in the book were experiences that I myself experienced as an immigrant. The first day of school, for example, where she walks in and doesn't know how to speak the language. Well, that was my first day of school in 2nd grade when I immigrated to America.
White Mulberry has earned national recognition, becoming an Amazon First Reads editor's pick and a #1 bestseller in historical fiction, as well as being selected a best book by Parade magazine. Beyond the reviews, the book has resonated deeply with readers, including this group of Korean American women who recently came together in New York City to hear the author and to honor the achievements of a fellow Korean American woman writer. The characters in White Mulberry live on in Rosa Kwon Easton's next novel called Red Seal, which is due out in October of this year. I'm Kyung Yoon for Asian American Life.